Some old pics I found of what it used to look like a few months ago when it was full of rainbow fish. So I'll actually include some extra video footage of when it was full of rainbows like this as well towards the end of the video. Hello everybody, and welcome to the first segment of this old tank. Today we are in the garage section. We're going to do a walkthrough of this 125 long I have here on this rack. The reason why I picked this tank is because it's probably one of my most unique tanks and my most basic tanks. It's a pretty simple setup. There's actually no filtration in here besides this power head that you see. That's the only thing that moves the water around. I do have an air line hooked up to it, so it does keep oxygen in just in case, because with all this algae, you never know at night. Plants, I'm sure algae is the same, like to consume oxygen. And as far as these fish here, they're pretty rare fish, so I would rather not risk it. And those are Dockensia assimilis barbs. And if you can see up here, I got the net on top. That keeps them from jumping out, because they are known to jump. I've actually saved a couple of them. There's twice they tried to jump out and they ended up getting stuck in the net. One time it was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and luckily I was still out here and I was able to save him. I had to actually cut him out of the net. He was a little marked up from it, but he ended up healing. Yeah, these are really fun fish to watch. But most of that algae, it's hair algae mixed with some clado. And it actually helps keep the tank filtered by just consuming all the waste and extra ammonias and whatnot. This here is a neon blue goby. They're the only other inhabitants in here, which I have a male and a female of. I wanted to try to breed those, but they're pretty tricky. You could also see an assassin snail that was on that rock. But you can see this mat, it's pretty thick. Yeah, you see the section that's floating up, it actually used to be down on the bottom there, and it ended up getting loose off the bottom and floated on up. So then it'll cycle back. What I'll do is I'll end up taking that out, and then the algae will grow back, get thick, go back up, pull it out. So it's just constant cycle. But the cycle, I'd say it takes a couple months, like probably about 2-3 months, if not more. It's hard for me to keep track of time. Time for me is just like taking a glob of paint and smearing it across the wall. In other words, it just all blends together. But yeah, I love these fish. They're also known as mascara barbs. You can see that by their eye, they have this blue. It's really neat. And they'll get these red lines in them too when they're really happy and really showing off their colors. Which they seem to be in a pretty good mood now. They're probably a couple years old. And they'll get bigger. They'll get a few inches bigger than this. There's actually some orange shrimp that live in here as well, but with these barbs being out, you're not going to see them. They live within all the algae and moss. And you can see it's kind of stringing up a little bit, all that hair algae, so I'm going to have to end up taking care of that soon. Here's another clip of them. They're a little more colored up here. Quite a bit more, actually. And this tank, actually, at this time, the water hasn't been changed for over 2 weeks. And that's with no filtration, just regular tap water. I do run T5 lights over top, so it's got some decent light on it. This is actually in front of, I turned the garage into my office, so now I can just sit in front of this tank here and watch these guys play all the time. I'm really hoping to get to breeding them. I've attempted it a couple times, but I haven't had any luck yet. You see that male right there? That's definitely a male, the one that is super red. I actually started off with a school of 10, and then I had them out in the pond. I had a couple jumpers, and I ended up losing like 5 of them, just along the line throughout the last year and a half that I've had them. But I think that might have been a male-female ratio thing, and now this male's got himself a brood of females. So hopefully it's a good thing and it'll bring me some eggs, because he's definitely showing a lot more color than the other ones. They're egg scatterers. The thing is, their eggs aren't adhesive either. Supposedly they're heavy. Now, there's not many people that even have these in the States, and they're actually pretty hard to get. So finding information on breeding them has been kind of tricky. Main reason why I got them too is not just their color. I bought these filamentous barbs, which is another type of mascara barbs. There's actually 3 types, which is filamentous, and then these Assimilis, and I can't remember what the other one is, Rohani I think. But after researching and learning more about the filamentous after I got them to breed, that's what led me to search for these, because they came up in a search. I was just stunned by the beauty of the pictures that I saw online that I had to hunt them down and get them. It actually took me quite a while to get them. These are wild caught, so they did come straight from the wild. Here you can kind of see they're being pretty playful with each other. They always tend to hang out right underneath that driftwood too. That's the spot I've been trying to get the eggs collected. Pretty sure I seen them where it looked like they were throwing eggs a couple times, but never got anything out of it. Here I actually did a water change and they're going nuts. You can see them battling here. Kind of hard to see. You can see them just spinning round and round and round. I don't know if that's them breeding or if they're actually trying to fight for dominance or what. Notice all that white stuff, that's biofilm from just natural bioload. Supposedly shrimp love that stuff. Some people feed it to them as a diet, but if you got an established tank, you'll have that film on there. But once you get the water moving around, it'll go away. But yeah, this is that algae again. See now with the water down, as you can see, it actually creates like a skin, like a wall. So it can fall off, and it's actually pretty easy to take off. If I wanted to, I could actually design the back by scraping it and actually scrape out a little scene if I had time to do so. Kind of like artwork with algae. And you can see where I've scraped it before. It actually kind of used to look like a mountainscape, and yeah, that algae will stick to anything. It's on the rocks, it's on the heaters there. It's pretty easy to get off, and it'll end up growing itself off too eventually. Part of that might be even calcium buildup. I also got these screws in here so I can put my net up, get into the tank without having to wrestle it too much. Just hook it up like that. And they're still going at it. Decided to get underneath the biofilm, better view, and to sneak in from the side. See a little better. It's kind of hard to get the camera to focus on them. Sorry about that cricket. I'm in the garage and man, I can't even find him. I tried to find him, but it is what he is. He's gonna chirp all night long, drive me crazy. But yeah, here's all that algae that's floated on top. Now it doesn't look the best right there, just because of the light hitting. But it's kind of like what you would find in a lake or a pond. So, I mean, that just goes to show you how natural it really is. And right there is some Luigi arepas. So I did try to turn it into a planted tank. And then it just, I don't know, it started growing this algae, and then I fought it a little bit, and then it started looking cool, so I left it. So there you have it. I really like all that green contrast with these fish as well. Now here's the bonus video footage of when I used to have a bunch of rainbow fish in it. These were all a bunch of fry that I was growing out in here. Now this tank was definitely overstocked, especially for not having a filter. But you can see it, it's all purling, looking good. Everybody's lively, everybody's active. See, there's Parkinsoni rainbows in there, Herbert Axelrodis, I think some ornates, and a couple others. The blue neon gobies were in there as well. So there you have it. That's my no filter, all natural 125 long in my garage.